This video is for you if you ever said, I can't gain weight. First off, these tips have been used by hundreds of our athletes who've put on 15 to 20 plus pounds in an off season. But in my career, I went from 150, 155 early in high school to over 215 pounds, going from low 70s to upper 90s in my own career. With that being said, let's dive in. The first non-negotiable is that you have to actually track your calories. A lot of players will say, I eat a lot. And the problem is that's way too subjective. So just eating a lot relative to your family, relative to your friends, your teammates, like that's not necessarily going to put you in the caloric surplus necessary to actually gain weight on a consistent basis. And so what do? When you're tracking calories, you're gonna need to find a calorie tracking app like a MyFitnessPal, a Chronometer, Calorie. There's a bunch of them out there. Some of them are free, some of them are paid. But you're gonna make sure that you log your meals after each meal in the app so that you actually have a consistent idea of how much food you're eating. If you're able to track the inputs, i.e. how much food you're actually taking in, and then you can track the outputs, how much weight you're actually gaining or not gaining, now you can actually play with those two sides of the equation and make sure you know if you're not gaining weight, exactly why you're not gaining weight. So going along with that is tip number 2, which is tracking your body weight. Now I recommend that guys have a weight scale in their bathroom and they check their weight first thing in the morning after going to the bathroom. I actually prefer having a printout weight chart just above that scale. You just mark down your weight every single day and you can track that progress over time. If you see that trend line start to plateau from the rate of weight gain that you're intending to do, then you know that there needs to be an adjustment made to the caloric intake. The next is to make sure we're picking the right caloric surplus and calorie target. So this is gonna depend on how far from your target body weight you actually are. So if you're over 30 pounds from your target body weight, let's say you're 6'4", 150 pounds, and you're trying to be 215, 220 pounds, well, you can be pretty aggressive with that weight gain. And so for you guys, I would recommend starting around that 4,000 calorie range and tiering up if that's not enough. And you're gonna be shooting for 1.5 to 2 pounds of weight gain per week throughout the off season. Now, if it's more moderate and you're 15 to 30 pounds away from your target weight, so let's say that same guy, he's already 190 pounds, so he's getting closer to that target weight, you can tier down the caloric surplus, you can tier down the amount of weight gain. Now you're in that 1 pound to 1.5 pounds a week of weight gain throughout the off season. I'd recommend starting around closer to 3,750 calories per day and tiering up based on if that's enough for you. Now, if you're getting very close to your target weight gain, you might only need to be gaining 0.5 to 1 pounds per week throughout the off season, and that caloric surplus is going to be maybe only 250 to 500 extra calories per day. So you're going to have to play around with the exact amount of calories and the exact surplus, but the point is you can gain weight a lot more aggressively if you're further away from your target weight. For me at 155 pounds, I really didn't gain any noticeable fat at all until I got to about 185 pounds. From 185 to 215, that's when I started to have a little bit more noticeable fat gain, and you have to take it a little bit more slowly. If you want more on this, we have a full free weight gain guide on our website. Go check that out.